Hi, my name is Nathan, and today I'm going to talk to you guys a little more about my denture experience for the past 2 months. Back in November, I did release 2 videos that kind of detailed the first 60 days of my journey and my experience with getting a denture for my upper palate. And then I also released a video for the post-op instructions that my dentist gave me. I now want to take the time to basically answer any questions that you guys have and that you've been leaving down in the comments. I know a couple of people were concerned that I kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth, but I was definitely replying to any questions that you guys had and things along those lines. I just didn't want to come out with a video too often, too soon without actually, providing any actual information. So let's go ahead and get started on it then. So the first question that we have here is from Joanne, who asked, which adhesive would you recommend? Honestly, I use Fixodent, the Fixodent Ultra Hold. I've tried the powder stuff once. I can't remember when I first got it, like back in November. I didn't really care for it too much, to be honest with you. I haven't really had a need to ever deviate away from this with my routine. I know that some bonds will hold better than others for longer than others, and I know some people will say that they'll use this at the beginning of the day or use this like only if they're planning going a long period of time without it, like without needing to reapplicate basically. Honestly, I love this stuff. I put this stuff on in the morning. It lasts me all day. I don't ever have to worry about anything. There's no slip. It feels really good. To be honest with you, I don't see myself switching from this Fixodent Ultra Hold anytime soon. But because I know a couple of people have been asking about like what I want to use or what I prefer and like products that I like, I might try some other products. But to be honest with you, this Fixodent Ultra Hold is what does it for me. This stuff is good enough for me to actually eat beef jerky if I wanted to. I know a lot of people say that they struggle with eating like steaks or jerky or anything like that. With this stuff here, like I'm able to eat jerky and it's not a problem. If that's something that you guys want to see on video just to prove it to you guys, I'd be more than happy to just say it down in the comment, and then I'll get on board with that. But this Fixodent Ultra Hold is like the best stuff that I've found personally. To question number 2 is from Heather. It says, did you leave the dentist office with your dentures or did you just get your teeth pulled? So for me personally, I had my teeth pulled and I was given my immediate denture. Some people will split that based off of your dentist's recommendation or your own preference. But for me personally, I had all my teeth pulled and then I had my immediate denture put in. And for the first 24 to 48 hours, that acted as like a Band-Aid. It kind of covered it, kept everything safe because I had all the sutures and stuff like that up there. But yeah, I left with my immediate denture. I didn't eat anything really like stiff or anything. Even with the immediate denture, the sutures are still there for me. I had sutures, so I stuck to soft foods the entire time until basically I had the sutures removed. And even then, I was slowly kind of gaining traction on eating like more difficult foods. Yep. Next question. All right, so the next question here is from Joseph. He says that I've been putting all this off for 2 years now. I can't seem to overcome the anxiety, even though he has teeth that are going one by one. Would you please share more about the expense and the financing? Yeah, so I would love to talk more about the financing, although, to be honest with you, I didn't get to finance a lot of what I wanted to have done. Initially, I had applied for care credit. And you can apply for any type of line of credit that you can get your hands on. Just keep in mind that interest rates are going to be high a lot of times if you're using a credit card or something along those lines. Hold on, let me get this phone. So the financing portion of it, I didn't actually finance too much. I actually had a credit card through PenFed Credit Union that had $10,000 available to me on it that I've just been sitting on. I was going to use that in combination with care credit. I know that the interest rate is kind of high on the care credit card. My PenFed credit card doesn't have a very high interest rate on it, so I was going to take advantage of that for as long as possible. But the care credit was actually canceled because I didn't use it for a year. And I spent that year doing a lot of research on who I wanted to have my work done by, the material that they were using, a lot of different things. And at the end of the day, it just took too long to basically decide what I wanted to do and pull the trigger. There was a lot of things that kind of went into that decision, and I had a lot of anxiety, and it took me too long to basically make a final decision ultimately. So I didn't get a lot of it financed. I'm still paying a lot of stuff out of pocket. My insurance does cover some stuff, but not as much as I would like them to be honest with you. But financing isn't something that I have a lot of experience with. Um, I would say that if you're looking for financing options, I would probably seek out, making sure that your credit score is good enough to actually, get a credit card or get a loan or something like that to have it done. But in all honesty, in hindsight, I would definitely recommend trying to save up as much as you can. Try to get into any government programs or anything that's currently going on in your area. I know that a lot of people say that dental schools you can get some good work done at, but it's honestly not something that I have a ton of experience with. Next question is from Candy. It says, I'm facing decisions on a dental plan. Curious, why did you opt to get all of your teeth on the upper extracted versus getting a partial? Why pull good working teeth? Well, I appreciate you assuming that I had good working teeth. My teeth were pretty bad for a long time. The long of it is basically that when I was younger, just out of high school, I had one tooth that really bothered me. I went to the dentist and they told me it was going to be about $1,500 to get it fixed. And at the time I was living on my own. I didn't really have any other friends or family member that I could get that money from. I didn't have credit. So when he said it was going to be $1,500 to get it fixed, and that was after what my insurance plan would cover, I basically just decided that I wasn't going to do anything about it, and I would just try to save the money the best that I could. For a long time, it took me, I was basically living paycheck to paycheck. So I couldn't get it fixed right away. So one tooth problem led into two teeth that were having issues, then three teeth. And then eventually when I had enough money to get the first tooth fixed, it was like $4,000 or $5,000 to get the rest of everything fixed. That kind of got me really depressed for a long time. And then I just really just kind of just stopped taking care of it altogether. It was a bad decision on my part. Eventually over the years, my teeth got really, really bad, to the point where like I had almost no functioning good top teeth. So once I had my teeth pulled and got my denture, it was life changing for me. So the decision to pull all my teeth wasn't like cosmetic or like for vain reasons. It was because I literally couldn't eat anything with my top teeth that I had there. There was just nothing left there pretty much. They were really bad condition. But yeah, so short end of it is that I had them pulled because they need to be pulled. I couldn't, you just couldn't save them. Yeah. But I'm really happy that everything worked out the way that it did. I mean, I would prefer to have my original teeth, but this new set of chompers that I got are working pretty good for me. Next question here is from Maya. Did you have all of your teeth extracted? Yes, I had all my top upper arch teeth extracted. And then after this healed on the top, I went back and then I had some teeth on the bottom here pulled and on both sides. So I still have my original teeth right here on the bottom and the front. Eventually, I'll most likely be getting a partial denture on the bottom to kind of go on either side here. But for now, I have most of these front teeth on the bottom, and then all of the top teeth have been pulled. Yeah. All right, so the next question is from Doug. He asks, so let me ask you a question. How do you wear them without glue? It's difficult, to be honest with you, at first, or if you're in the healing process. So my experience was when I first got my immediate denture, I was advised to not use any denture adhesive for the first 30 days. Not only by my dentist, but also if you look at most of these adhesives, they tell you not to use it the first 30 days as well. You don't want to rip anything open. You want everything to, seal up and heal over time. But initially, because my gums were really swollen from getting the teeth pulled, they filled out the denture pretty well, and I had a pretty decent suction. After a couple of days, and then after a week or two, I noticed that my gums started to heal and started to shrink down, and I had to go in for, I think what they call is a realign, where they basically repadded the top of the denture to make sure that it would have a better suction on the roof of my mouth. And that helped out a little bit. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of wearing them without denture adhesive, just because these are my immediates. They're not my permanent. So I'm I've went through one realign so far in the past 6 months. I should probably go back for another, just because if I try to wear them without it, I can do it. It's just really difficult. And it shouldn't be, from my experience, from what I've been reading online and what other people have told me, is if you go in for a realign, it should kind of repat it and kind of contour better to the roof of your mouth, and should provide a little better suction. Um, for me, it's a comfort thing. I like having the adhesive there. It just makes it feel more secure. So I just usually wear it with adhesive, and when I get my permanents, I'm sure I might feel a little different. But for now, I don't use them without denture adhesive anymore. You don't have to use it if you can get around it. I know that some people have said to me that they don't really use denture adhesive unless they're going to go out to eat or go someplace else, and that's perfectly fine too. I go out to eat a lot, and I'm usually out and not at home, so I usually have denture adhesive in. So when I'm not using denture adhesive, it definitely is a little bit trickier. I felt like my biggest complaint for me personally was when I didn't use denture adhesive. It felt like the back of the denture would sometimes kind of dangle back or dangle off the roof of my mouth. So it always feel like I was holding up the back of the denture with the back of my tongue when I talk. So it was like a juggling act, and I didn't really care for that. So adhesive fixed that for me 100%. All right, next question is from Blue Star. Is how's life? No more updates. Really enjoyed your content. Yeah, no, life's been great, to be honest with you. I've enjoyed a lot of things that I didn't enjoy before for a long, long time. Like I said before, I initially started having teeth problems just after high school, and one tooth problem led to another tooth problem, which led to another tooth problem. So, for a good portion of my younger life, I never really liked going out or going to parties or enjoying people's company or laughing and stuff like that, just because I was always afraid of what other people would think of me when I smiled. And the teeth that were impacted were always the front ones, so it wasn't like it was a back tooth that was having a problem. It's like anytime I smiled, you immediately knew that I had bad teeth. So for me personally, since getting my denture, I've experienced a lot of things that I've never really experienced before in my life, like going out to parties and hanging out with people outside of work, and just laughing and having a good time. Going out on dates, that's been a new thing for me. I never did that before. So now I'm going out having fun, eating steak dinners. I mean, that's really great. Like, I love steak now. Even though I can't taste a good portion of it because the roof of my mouth is covered, like, I still absolutely love steak. And I know a couple of you guys have asked, like, like, what, can you eat steak or anything like that? And for me, yes, I absolutely can. I put the denture adhesive in, and it's perfectly normal. I'd say the hardest thing that I've ever had to like learn to eat was probably beef jerky again. I can eat beef jerky now. For me personally, I know that some people will argue that they can't do that and they're just not set up for that. But for me personally, I can eat beef jerky again. Eating hot wings was a little tricky at first, especially if they're slightly overcooked. But ultimately, I haven't really had too much of a problem as long as you're using fresh adhesive each day or whenever you're going to eat that. At least 30 minutes to an hour beforehand, preferably. But it's been great. In all honesty, I want to do more videos. It's just I've been reluctant to just come out with consistent videos just because I want to have good information to give you guys and good experiences to share with you. But if that's something that you guys like to have more often, I could look at possibly doing like a weekly video or something like that. I'd be kind of interested in knowing like what it is that you guys have problems eating or are worried about eating, and I'd be more than happy to tell you my experience with eating it. So yeah, maybe that's some future content that you guys can look forward to. Just let me know down in the comments, and I will be more than happy to work that out if I can. Next question is from Susan. She basically states that she's having some teeth removed in the next couple of weeks, and she asked if I had an immediate denture, and yes, I have an immediate denture, and that is actually the denture that I'm talking with right now. The day of my extractions, they pulled all my top teeth, and I was given this immediate denture, and I've had one realigned since then. I could probably go in for a second one. I just been kind of lazy and haven't went in. Well, not lazy, it's just I use the adhesive and I don't really feel a need to. My gums are perfectly pink and healthy and they're doing good. So I just didn't want to go in for a reline. It's like an hour away, so I just rather just stay here at home and just continue on. I do have something set up to go in here in a couple of weeks just to have everything checked up on and make sure that, you know, there's no issues with anything. But yeah, I have an immediate denture. I haven't got my permanence yet. I know, not permanent as in implant, permanent as in like my final set of denture. Um, I know that can be confusing sometimes. You get your immediate denture, and then usually you'll get another denture that's your final one down the road. That should last you for, you know, so many years. Next question is from Crescent Moon. It says, thanks for all the info. How are you feeling now? What products are your favorite? My E-Day is next month, and I'm beyond nervous, but trying not to be. Well, congratulations on getting your E-Day set up. That's a huge first step. As far as how I'm feeling right now, yeah, I'm feeling great. I don't really have any complaints on anything in terms of how I feel or how things are playing out or anything like that. I feel kind of sick right now, but I mean, that's just because I've been out a lot and people at work have been sick and it's cold, and yeah, I can't wait for summer to be back. As far as the products that I like I mentioned before in one or two of the other comments, I like Fixodent, the Max Ultra Hold. This stuff is the best stuff that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Then in addition to that, I have this, let me see here. I have this little container here that I keep my teeth in. This came with two different ones. It's just a real simple kind of denture holder, and it has a little piece that comes in and out, so that way you can have, you know, your denture in water. You can put your seltzer in there to kind of clean your denture overnight. So it makes it really easy to kind of take it out and wash it and then dump it out and clean it. But this is really good. This cost me like probably like $2 or $3 on Amazon, and I love it. It's really great. It's really simple. It gets the job done. Those are really the only two different things. Actually, hold that thought. Let me go grab the seltzers that I put in there. Those work really good too, and they don't have a weird aftertaste. I'll be right back. All right. So the Fixodent Plus Scope Overnight Cleanser. These are what I've been using to clean my denture each night. These are really good. I like them a lot. They get it nice and clean. It feels and tastes fine when I put it back in my mouth. No real complaints. I did find some of the Fixodent powder. I wasn't a big fan of this stuff, to be honest with you. I tried it out for like a month or like a half a month, alongside of the Fixodent Ultra Hold. This one was way better. I know some people will mix. I don't have a need to mix them personally, but your mileage might vary. But for me personally, it's the Fixodent Max Hold, the gel stuff. It works really, really good. All right, moving on to next question. Next question is from Gwen. It says, are you confident enough now to eat celery, apples, or steak? I don't like celery. I've never been a huge fan of apples, but I would probably say I could eat an apple. I haven't actually tried to eat an apple since getting my denture, so I don't know what that looks like for me just yet. Maybe I'll include it on the next video. I'll try and take a bite out of an apple. Steak, 100%. I can eat steak any day of the week. I love steak, and I've been out on a couple of different events where I went and eaten like a whole, you know, ribeye steak, just hammered it down. It's really, really good. There's a place that's near me called Yard House that has amazing steaks. But yeah, I absolutely love it. In fact, I can eat beef jerky. I love it. So. All right, so next question is from Pumpkin Spice, and it says they're in the process of getting their extractions done. And it says, when they find these bony shards, do they pull them out? How is that handled? And thank you for all the information. So I didn't have very many bony shards, and I only had one that I was aware of when I went in. Basically what happened is I had my teeth extractions done, I had my sutures put in, and then I went back to get my sutures pulled out. And then at that time, they saw there was a little bone shard that was kind of stuck in my gum in the area of where the suture was. And they just pulled it out. It wasn't like anything like super, it wasn't like lodged in there. It didn't like hurt a lot or anything like that. I know some people will say that it does hurt them a little bit, and I think that really depends on the person and where it's at and what's going on. So your mileage will always kind of vary a little bit on that. But for me personally, I had one little bone shard that kind of surfaced up after the fact, after my gums started healing, and they just kind of pulled it out. They didn't even, it was just like a little pluck, basically like pulling a hair out. Yeah, so that was pretty much how they handled it for me. Now, your dentist might do something different. If you have a lot of bone shards and they're in there, they might want to numb it up and then kind of remove them a little more carefully. Mine was just like a small little shard that he just like plucked out, and it was fine. So next question is from El Petit. It says, was it just your top that you had extracted? Yeah, I had just my top extracted first, and then I had my bottom backside of my left and right side teeth pulled as well. So the only real teeth that I have left in my mouth is like right here on the bottom and the front. Outside of that, everything else has been pulled on the bottom, and then everything's been pulled on top. But I have my immediate denture on top to help me with chewing. And that's pretty much it. So if you guys have additional questions or anything else that you want to know more about, just feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to try and develop any content around what you guys are interested in. But for me personally, everything's been super great. I do plan to talk about a little bit like how I've went about telling people about my denture for the people that I've been dating or people that I go on dates with, just to kind of let you guys know what that portion of my life is like now. For a lot of people, getting new dentures or a new set of teeth, that's like one of the things that they're looking forward to. I know that was something that I was looking forward to for a long time. So if that's something that you're interested in, just let me know in the comments down below. You guys have a great day.